What is going on, people? A double dosage of videos for you today. First one was an unboxing, and now you're going to get a review. It's been a while since I've done one, but the people over at RLJE Films sent me a movie to review, and let me just say, I definitely dug it. It's something I've never seen before, to tell you the truth. It actually comes out tomorrow, so if you're watching this now and you're deciding, which movie to come pretty much go and pick up, this one's definitely one for you to add to your collection. The movie I'm talking about, if you couldn't tell by the title, it's called Terminal. This one is written and directed by Vaughn Stein. Hopefully I said that right. It stars Margot, Robbie. It stars Simon Pegg. It has Michael Myers, among many others in it. And this one right here, I must say, is something I've never seen before, because I'm used to it in the horror genre. This is more of a thriller, drama, crime, all mixed into one. Pretty much, it's an anthology crime movie. Yes, it's got, like I said, bits and pieces that I've never seen. I'm so used to, horror anthologies, which are, coming more and more. And I love it because it's really cool to have different stories, shorter stories, kind of either connect or not. If you don't know, haven't seen many horror anthologies, it's either a couple stories just put into one that don't have anything to do with each other. But you get other ones, anthologies, where they're all kind of short stories, but they all kind of connect in one way, shape, or form. And then by the end, it kind of comes together and you're like, okay, this is cool. Anyway, like I said, this is like the crime, I guess you want to call it, equivalent to that. It's got a couple different stories going on at once, people meeting each other and coming together, but each storyline has its own branch, I guess you want to call it. Each story has its own bit, I guess you want to say, and it kind of comes together. Pretty much it revolves around, there's a story with two assassins that kind of pick up not a case, but they pick up a job, and it kind of entails running into certain people and waiting for a phone call and just kind of sitting there and waiting, and they run into a certain person. Then you get a teacher who's kind of battling a life-threatening disease, I guess you want to call it. He kind of runs into a certain person. Then you follow a young waitress who is doing her own kind of deal, and she kind of runs into a person. And then you get this lonely, I guess you would call him a janitor kind of deal at a subway that kind of runs into certain people as well. So there's all these different storylines connecting into each other, but kind of branching off into their own tangent, I guess you want to call it. And this one I really dug. Like I said, anthologies are becoming, one of my favorite. I don't want to call it their own genre, but it seems like it is kind of turning into its own thing, because you get little, I don't want to call them little movies, but little stories that kind of branch off into each other and then kind of connect. But this one I really dug. Not only do I pretty much has one of the better casts that I've seen in a movie in a while. I mean, Margot Robbie is just kind of taking everything off the map. When I wasn't the biggest fan of Suicide Squad, but she was probably definitely the best part in it. Simon Pegg in this movie definitely kind of takes his acting to another level. He's in all these different kind of movies, but it's either, he's the comedic aspect of it. This one he kind of brings in his own, well, not his own, but it's more of a serious role for him. It's not like, even in when you had him in Star Trek and stuff, he kind of had, he was the comedy relief. This one, he doesn't play that much of a happy-go-lucky or funny character. He's more serious, like I said. He's the one, I guess you want to call it a spoiler. Not even a spoiler, because, again, it comes out tomorrow. But he plays the professor, I guess you want to call it, or teacher that kind of is sick and has like a terminal illness. And then you get Michael Myers, who plays, again, a different role than I've seen him in a long time. I mean, I haven't seen him in much lately, but you know, you had him in Cat in the Hat and Wayne's World and stuff like that. So this also brings out a different role for him. There's a twist at the end of this movie that I did not see coming, which, well, when the scene kind of evolved, I'm like, okay, now I get it, now I see it, and then, but before that, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I did not see that part coming. So this is definitely one that if you're into crime movies, if you're into thrillers, because by the end of this movie it turned into something, not something different, but I was like, oh, okay, that came out of kind of left field and whatever, but because in the beginning it was kind of more like crime in it had a lot of crime in it. And then towards the end, it got a little darker and darker and darker. And then by the end, I was like, oh, okay. The one scene, I was just like, wow, I didn't expect that scene to be in this movie, but it was. But anyway, kind of running all over myself. This is definitely one you're going to want to pick up for yourself and add to the collection. Because again, has a little bit of everything. If you're into crime movies, if you're into thrillers, if you're into anthology movies, again, kind of something different that I haven't seen before. If you like Margot Robbie, if you like Simon Pegg, this movie's got pretty much everything that you would probably want if you're into that genre. So I definitely say go ahead, check it out. I'll leave the links for everything. I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon right now for pre-order and stuff, but again, I'm sure it'll probably be in all your stores tomorrow. So if you're choosing one to go ahead and check out, I'd say go ahead, look for Terminal, and you won't go wrong. So until next time, I'll see you guys.